hello YouTubes. It's been a few months, probably more than that, since I last made a video, and I've yet to upload some of the 2015 WRX suspension videos. I know some of you were waiting for that, so my apologies. Just got extremely busy. I moved, I got a new car, a lot of things changed since I last made a video. So you're probably wondering, what am I doing in a Mustang GT? Or in case you didn't know, this is a 2015 Mustang GT Performance Pack. And the Performance Pack, the difference between a regular GT and this one is that it gives you the extra coolers for the trans and engine for oil cooling. It gives you the 19-inch blacked out wheels, which are really nice. Comes with the Pirelli P0s, which I do not recommend. Worst tire I've ever owned, especially after having the Michelin Pilot Super Sports in my 2015 WRX, as you guys remember. So I do not like these tires one bit, especially anything below 40 Fahrenheit. Forget it. You're just not going to be able to do anything with them. They turn into complete hard rubber and you're on ice skates, basically, especially on a rear-wheel drive car as opposed to all-wheel drive. You know, in my WRX, I drove it in the snow. It doesn't snow that often here in Atlanta, so I drove it in the snow once or twice, and it was awesome. I was surprised for summer performance tires how well they did. Also, if you remember, I autocrossed that WRX in the rain, and it did phenomenal with those tires. So I highly recommend the Michelin Pilot Super Sports. I personally do not like the Pirelli P0s, not on this car anyway, so I'll be looking at different tire setup for this you know, for this application. Anyways, just wanted to give you an update. I traded in my WRX. I was sad to see it go, but that was my third straight Subaru, second WRX in a row, and I was just ready for something else, a little different. I've had 4 Mustangs before and many other vehicles, and I was kind of missing that rear-wheel drive, you know, the fun that you get with this thing. Although it is a handful, no question about it. You know, I'm used to the all-wheel drive in the WRX, where you just pin it back and hang on and you go for the ride, and the car does everything for you beautifully, right? You don't have to worry about any drama whatsoever. Not the case in this thing, and I apologize about the lens flare here. I know you guys like that Photoshop lens flare, so I threw it in the video. Actually, the sun's setting down, but anyways, we should be going into some back roads here that I absolutely love on this road. Just cruising around. You know, I just put my exhaust on. I did a separate video for that, which I'll upload as well, a review of the Gibson Racing exhaust system that I've got on here. Anyways, just wanted to give you an update on the car and about 4 months of ownership of the 2015 Mustang GT. There's a lot of videos out there. Some people like them, some people hate them. I absolutely love the car. Power, you know, although it has 430 plus horsepower and maybe a little bit more now that I put that full catback exhaust on there, I would like a little bit of, you know, power on this thing, because I gotta tell you, it's not as fast as I had hoped. Some of that has to do with traction, of course. You know, I don't have that nice all-wheel drive that I'm used to for the last 4 or 5 years. But obviously it does other things extremely well. The performance package, for example, on this Mustang gives you the 6-piston caliper, Brembo brake kits up front, or Brembo calipers up front. But for some strange and odd reason, I don't know why Ford chose to do that other than to save money, you don't get rear Brembo brakes, which is so bizarre. But you know, they're adequate. They brake extremely well, much better than the last car I had, of course. Not that I'm comparing the two, because I think that would be apples to oranges. But you know, the performance pack is nice, gives you that stiffer suspension. I love the blacked out wheels. This whole thing is black with red interior, which I absolutely love. I wanted to get the Recaro seats, but I just could not find one at the time. That's always my luck. I want something very specific. Like in my WRX, I wanted navigation from factory, although later I realized that it was probably better I didn't get the terrible factory navigation that they put in the 2015 WRXs. The 16s appear to be a little bit better. But you know, it always happens to me where I'm looking for something very specific and I just cannot find it. And as soon as I buy, you know, what I settled for, there's 100 of the ones I was looking for right after I buy mine, of course. And the same thing happened with this one. It had everything I wanted: the navigation package, premium package, you know, performance package, of course, but I could not find one with the Recaro seats. And that's all right. You know, these seats aren't that bad. They are bucket seats. And one thing I do love, which is really handy, is the heated and cool, you know, vented seats. That's a nice feature. I've never had that before in any car, and I just absolutely love that. So I'm not gonna complain. Anyways, as far as the car, I gotta tell you, I've owned 4 Mustangs before. I've owned many other cars before, including some quote-unquote luxury ones, an M3 BMW, and you know, I am so impressed with what Ford did with the 2015. Now, the 2014 may have been just as good. I personally haven't driven one, and I didn't pay much attention to those. I was very much into my Subaru and really didn't look at much else. And I gotta tell you, man, from my last Mustang that I owned to this, wow, this is just night and day difference. I mean, this thing has all the features that you find in modern cars: blind spot detection, heated and cool seats, like I mentioned earlier. Everything is push start, keyless entry. You know, the little display screen in here shows a lot of cool things, and I don't know if you can see that in the video, but you can pretty much display anything you want in here, from oil temp to voltage, air fuel ratio, cylinder head temp, inlet air temp, and a host of other things in there, right, which is so cool. The sync system from Ford, you know, I have the 2 in this car, which to me is complete garbage. You know, it works, but it doesn't even support Apple's CarPlay. I believe the new one, where they switched to the BlackBerry OS as opposed to the Microsoft OS, now has support for it. So it may be better, I don't know, I haven't tested it out. I just gotta tell you though, I am so impressed with this car. I mean, when you exit the car, the seat rolls back for you. When you get in the car, it rolls forward. Tilt, telescopic steering wheel. All my controls are right here on the wheel, so I don't have to do a whole lot. You've got memory seating, and you've probably watched reviews on the car, so I'm not trying to do the whole review, but it's just so cool. Down here, you've got toggle switches where you can adjust the driving mode, for example. You can put it on Sport Plus, track, snow, wet, and what it does is, you know, adjust the traction control to be a little more laxed, I guess, to let you slide a little bit more, to spin the wheels a little bit more. Some of the things I really love are the launch control. It comes with launch control from factory. You also have what they call driver assist, where you can fine-tune like the interior lighting and some other cool things. You also have track apps. This is probably my favorite feature in this car. You've got an accelerometer, which of course will measure some of the G-forces, braking G-forces, lateral G-forces, and acceleration, which is just super cool. And I hope you guys can see it. It's kind of hard. I should have mounted the camera a little bit higher. But you've got an acceleration timer where you can do anything from 0 to 30 to a quarter mile, right? And it'll give you this cool little tree, which is awesome. That'll basically, you know, simulate you being at the track, at the drag strip with the tree, and being able to go. And then the launch control, of course, which helps all of that. Brake performance, you know, you can do a 60 to 0 or 100 to 0. Of course, you shouldn't be doing that on public roads. And here's the launch control, where you can adjust even the RPMs, you know, where you want to launch at, which is just super cool. You can adjust between 3,000 and 4,500 RPMs. Then the performance package gives you these 2 little gauges, which is the oil pressure and then vacuum. This is kind of a goofy one, but I believe the EcoBoost, which is the 4-cylinder turbo Mustang, that's where you have your boost gauge, which is pretty handy. And if you supercharge this thing, they do sell gauges you can replace the vacuum. The oil pressure is nice, the vacuum's kind of useless, right? So absolutely love this new Mustang. You know, thumbs up. The looks, it's got HID headlights with some of the, you know, LED DRLs, the daylight running lights. And the interior, you know, for a Mustang, again, keep in mind this is a entry-level performance vehicle, right? I mean, although it performs with some more expensive, or it can keep up, I should say, with some of the more expensive vehicles. Obviously you're not going to have an Audi interior or something like that, but I gotta tell you, man, yeah, I'm impressed. And then the sound system, I got the Shaker 1000, which sounds pretty good for a factory system. There's just really nothing I want to do to the car other than maybe put a supercharger on it. I've been thinking about it, looking at Pro Charger kits. Just because on the performance package, this comes with the strut tower bar. The K-brace, I think, is standard in all Mustangs, but the strut tower bar would have to be removed if you want to do the root style. At least if you do a Pro Charger, you can leave it the way it is. So I'm thinking about maybe doing some of that. Anyways, that's all I've got for now. Just wanted to give you an update. I've got about 3,800 miles on this car and have enjoyed every single one of them. I didn't talk about all the features, you know, this car has, but I gotta tell you, if you haven't looked at a Mustang in a while, and I really had not, my last Mustang I owned was probably, that's the wrong turn. I do this every time I come over. I'm heading over to Best Buy right now, and every time I go to Best Buy, I turn here where the bank is. Anyways, shouldn't be making videos when I go to Best Buy, I guess. But anyways, just wanted to give you a heads up. I love the car. You know, like I said, I mean, all the creature comforts that you can imagine in a modern car, including dual climate control, which is nice. You can fine-tune the driving styles however you like, a host of gauges. And I know some of you hate the ground speed. Everybody's like, you know, why does it say ground speed? Well, for those that don't know, and everybody should if you're a car guy, the Mustang, you know, when it originally came out, they gave a nod to the P-51 Mustang, which of course is one of the greatest warbirds or airplanes that has ever, you know, been around. And so, you know, this was kind of a nod back in the days to the P-51 Mustang. Of course, it's a little corny. Some people hate it. I personally love that. Again, I love the P-51 Mustang warplane itself, and this is a nod to one of the most historic airplanes ever built. So I'm at Best Buy. Thanks for riding along, guys, as always, and listening to my stupid rants. I hope you guys have a great one. Subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.